And now we're going to talk about the possible sinking of MACEIÓ. Something completely absurd is happening in the city of MACEIÓ, with the sinking of entire neighborhoods in the city due to an old Braskem mine. Let's understand this whole story and what's so urgent according to what they're saying. It could happen at any moment today, December 1st. Anyway, let's understand this and let's take advantage of it and say, see, evil private company. That's not quite the story. Let's understand this issue. This news was suggested by Peter's Tanayasi, Maria Carolina, Peter's niece, and several other people. Thanks to the people who suggested the news on our website, visãolibertaria.com. Thank you for watching our video. If you like our content, please like and subscribe to our channel. Well, this morning, December 1st, 2023, a lot of people are talking about it. Alerts have been issued. There have been several earthquakes in the last few days in MACEIÓ. And a lot of people suspect that Mine 18 or Shaft 18 is going to cave in, and that would have catastrophic consequences for part of MACEIÓ. So first, let's understand the problem, then how we got into this situation, and then I'll talk about the ethics of it. After all, what's Braskem's fault? What's the government's fault? Let's talk about that next, shall we? So look what's going on. MACEIÓ is this city here, Alagoas, for those who don't know. The state of Alagoas, the capital of Alagoas is MACEIÓ, and the whole thing is happening in the Pinheiro neighborhood, okay? So this water you see here isn't the sea, okay? This is the Mundau Lagoon. And this is Braskem in particular. You see? There's area 4 here. There's an area, I don't know what there. There's a bunch of wells here. And this region is where Braskem was exploring an ore called salgema, right? So salgema is a type of ore that has nothing to do with salt, but it is used precisely to make caustic soda and other chemical products. In short, it's a mineral that's under the city of MACEIÓ. In principle, when this mine was dug, back in the 70s, the studies that were carried out indicated that there would be no problem, that the mine was safe because it is very deep. It is 800 meters underground. It's a very deep mine there. They dig several wells to get to this mine, precisely in this region. Here, it's precisely this region, you see? All the wells that are dug here. Station 18 is this well here, which is close to Station 4. On this map here, it doesn't show. It shows Station 4, but it doesn't show Station 18, which would be a well here. Could it be that if I zoomed in here? Yeah, it's not shown here, but it would be... There's a gas station here, just this gas station here, gas station 18. There are several stations here that are used precisely by Braskem to reach the mine, which is 800 meters underground. Here they explain that it's actually 900 meters deep. So, a very significant distance here, and this began to be exploited in the 70s. With government authorization, everything is fine. You know that whole process of getting an environmental license? It was in 2018 that the problems began in this area of MACEIÓ, in the neighborhoods of Pinheiro, Bebedouro, Mutange, and Bomparda. Cracks began to appear in the streets of these neighborhoods. Just as I said, this neighborhood of Pinheiro and the surrounding neighborhoods, the neighborhoods around Mutange, there's this region of MACEIÓ. So these cracks began to appear. Here it is 2019, but it actually started in 2018. People here didn't know very much yet. Some even said it could be the Braskem mine, Braskem salgema extraction, but I still didn't know if it was really that. Everyone was in doubt back in 2018. In 2018, there was also a 2.5 magnitude earthquake in MACEIÓ. This earthquake would have already been caused by the mine as well. In other words, the mine began to settle. The salgema has been removed from the bottom. It was thought that the support from the ground above would be able to maintain this without any problems, but that wasn't quite the case. The ground began to settle, and as a result, there were earth tremors in MACEIÓ. And then, from there, the investigation began in 2018, 2019. When it was 2019, it was already determined almost a year after the problems began. The actions to evacuate the area were determined. So this whole neighborhood here is now abandoned, or should be abandoned. I don't know how the situation is there. It's usually problematic. Sometimes people don't want to leave their houses and stuff anyway. This whole area here in Alagoas would be condemned to sink into this, right? And what are they afraid of right now? As I explained, the big problem at the moment is well 18, and this station here is showing signs of collapse. And look how close it is to the Mundau Lagoon, the lagoon that bathes the municipality of MACEIÓ. And this well 18 sinking, this could cause a collapse in several wells in the region and open a big crater here in this whole area, right? This could even cause the water in the lagoon to become saline, brackish water. Today it's fresh water, but by opening up a hole here, it would probably pool seawater here and end up becoming an environmental disaster with the contamination of the water on the surface, with the mineral that's at the bottom of this well. It would open up a huge sinkhole here, filling in the mines below. We know that Braskem has been doing work here in this region precisely to try to reinforce the mine, to try to guarantee the integrity of the mine there in that region. But apparently the whole thing hasn't worked out very well because they can't stabilize the case there. And if Mine 18 were to collapse, it would be a tragedy, but it wouldn't be such a big tragedy. Now, the fear that everyone is warning about here, people are on high alert, everyone has been warned. It's precisely because the collapse of Mine 18 could lead to the collapse of the other mines in the other wells there, right? As you can see here, there are several wells here. These 9 wells in red are the most serious. You can see Mine 18 here at this point, 4, 7, 27, 19. There are several wells here. There are others here that are natural filling stations. There are 5 stations that would have been natural filling. Pressurization and plugging, 15 wells. These here are also stations that even Braskem has done to try to keep the mine stable, to try to stabilize the mine in the region. The fact is that it's not working very well after all. Apparently the situation is quite critical here. Well, the court ordered the removal of more people from the area. As I told you, this whole area here, you can even see a bit of it here on the map. It's all kind of abandoned now. People have already been removed from here. And it looks like there's another piece here where people are not being removed either. The dark green area is an area of caution, meaning there is no immediate risk of subsidence. But people could be shaken, especially if there is a tragedy involving the collapse of a salt mine of this size, which could certainly cause problems there in MACEIÓ. So that's it. That's exciting. That's the indication of what's happening in the city. There are more explanations here, but anyway, that's it. Will it happen? I hope not. I'm cheering. If you're from MACEIÓ, please be careful. Don't go into that area. It's really dangerous. If you're still living there, get out of that area. It's urgent that you don't stay there because we don't know the consequences. But now the question arises. We are a libertarian channel. Opposed to the government is useless. It was a private company that made this mess. That's right. It's not the private company's fault. Private companies fuck up too. Of course, private companies also fuck up. Of course it does. Now, this is much more a case of showing how this government inspection business doesn't solve any problems. This false idea that people have, oh no, but I have an environmental agency here. An environmental agency full of public parasites, a bunch of civil servants in that business drawing a salary and so on. People think, no, these people are going to stop anything bad happening here. They're not going to let it happen. No, forget it. That's impossible. Unfortunately, this is impossible. No one has a greater interest in preventing this kind of thing than the company that did the work. To think that the government is going to solve this is to give money to the state tax parasite for absolutely nothing, because these people aren't going to prevent any problems. Then there are these cases, the government says it's going to solve the problem, that it's going to make more regulations, that it's going to ban this, ban that. It gives a lot of people a hard time, it fines a lot of people, and it doesn't solve any problems, and later on huge tragedies happen, and there's no solution to this kind of thing. The fact is that Braskem is responsible for this, of course it is. They have to compensate every person in MACEIÓ, anyone who has been affected in any way by this kind of accident. The point is, government doesn't solve anything. Thank you for watching the video to the end. As well as liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, consider becoming a sponsor with prices starting at $19.99. Click on the Become a Member button below to find out about the conditions and advantages of sponsoring the channel. For more information about our project, visit our websites listed on the screen.